Hello and welcome to Don't Spill the Milk with Cindy and Lynette. I'm Lynette.
I'm Cindy.
Okay, so today we're going to be talking about growth spurts and what you can expect with growth spurts. So Cindy, can you tell us a little bit about what you think parents should know about?
Yeah, I think parents are often surprised with growth spurts. They're maybe not sure what this new behavior is that's happening. Growth spurts are something that's really common with all babies because they grow in little chunks of time, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
And the way that they respond to their growth spurt is by eating more because they need more calories because they're growing. So typical times that babies go through growth spurts. Now, the way they tell you is by giving you feeding cues frequently. And maybe your baby typically feeds somewhere from every 90 minutes to 3 or 3.5 hours. Let's just say on average, that's sort of the time frame where your baby feeds. But suddenly you have a baby that wants to nurse every hour for part of a day or for a whole day or for 2 or 3 days maybe. Um, Oftentimes people are not sure what exactly that's all about. And it's your baby just saying, hey, I'm getting bigger. I need you to make more milk. I'm going to help you make more milk for me, and I'm going to get that milk, and I'm going to grow.
Yeah.
So they do all those common in the earlier feeding cues. They do, or in the earlier growth spurts, they do all those common feeding cues. So mouthing their hands, licking the blanket, licking your hair, your shoulder, the cat, anything that gets near their face, right? So all of those. Don't let your baby lick a cat, you guys. But yeah. But they're telling you that they need more food in. So you need to respond to that by giving them opportunities to nurse more often. So
Yeah. And sometimes something I wanted to share too was that a common feeling for parents is that you start to feel like you're going to go crazy because your baby just won't stop feeding and it makes you go crazy. Can you relate, Cindy?
I can totally relate to that. Yeah, absolutely. I know
Mm-hmm.
how I solved that problem. Once I resigned to the fact that okay, we were going to go out to it's COVID right now, so nobody's really going places a whole lot. But when my babies were little, um, it seemed like frequently those sudden growth spurts that popped up out of nowhere happened on a day where I was going on a play date or had to run a bunch of errands or had things that I needed or wanted to do. Um, so it was a bit of a head wrapping around, okay, maybe we're going to reschedule a few things and
Mm-hmm.
maybe we're going to just stay home with the baby or only go to the places where I'm super comfortable. I know there's seating for me and, that kind of thing. Not running around on a bike or in a car or whatever my plan was that day. When I had my first two babies, Netflix wasn't a thing. I don't even know if it was a thing with my third, but it was barely a thing if it was. Now I just tell people get a bunch of snacks, gather up all the snacks, gather up a big jug of water, maybe make a
Mm-hmm.
cup of tea if you're lucky and have time, or have somebody bring you one if you're super lucky, and just pick a show to binge watch. So
Definitely.
that's my advice to people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you can, lay in bed.
Oh, yeah, bed is the best. Yeah.
Yeah.
Plenty of snack space in the bed.
Yep.
Yeah. That's great advice.
Awesome.
So when
Okay.
do growth spurts happen, Lynette? What's typical? Well,
Well,
average.
there's a general, they happen there's specific dates that they can happen. And you can tell that I'm hesitating to say exactly when they are
Yeah.
because I don't want parents to think that, okay, 3 week old,
Yeah.
my baby's going to have a growth spurt at 3 weeks old. And that's when it's going to be, because we have these general times when babies have growth spurts around 3 weeks, around 6 weeks, around 4 months. But what we want you guys to know is that it can happen a little bit before, they can happen a little bit after. Every baby is individual, and so every growth spurt is individual.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Mhm.
So fairly typically, the first one happens somewhere in the neighborhood of 7 to 10 days of age,
Yes.
somewhere around there. And then, yeah, like you said, sort of around 2 to 3 weeks-ish, and then
Yeah.
around maybe 6-ish weeks. I always say ish because it's
Yep.
completely up to your baby when they need to get more milk and they're going through the growth spurt. They know that. They're smart little people and they know what to do. So all they need to do is get more food into them, right?
That's right.
And that in turn helps your body make more milk. It's a pretty cool system. Yeah. Okay, catch us next time for our next episode. We'll see you then.
See ya.
Bye.